Let's remain on this topic and say hello to the man who defeated Chuck Liddell on Saturday night. The great Tito Ortiz joining us in a matter of moments via the magic of Skype. Let's see if Skype works better this time. There he is, the victorious Tito Ortiz joining us. Tito, how are you? Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Doing wonderful. Got to enjoy actually this morning. With my kids for school.
I'm sure that felt great. I'm sure this Monday feels great to finally get that win over Chuck Liddell. As you know, and again, by the way, I just want to say thank you for coming on earlier than you were scheduled. I think Frank Mir is sick or something, so I appreciate you doing that. The story on this Monday isn't necessarily, oh, Tito won. It's Chuck looked really bad. Does that bother you?
Yeah, of course it bothers me. I worked really hard for this. I mean, I fought the best fight that I knew I could do. I put everything I possibly could afford for the camp. There was no hole in my game, plain and simple. I mean, I took a year off because of neck surgery. I had 3 disc replacements in my neck, but I never used that for an excuse. I got through camp of 18 weeks. So I never worked harder in my life. I got my hand raised, and I dominated. I beat Chuck at his game.
You did. Let's call. I'm sorry to do this again, Tito, but we're going to call you on the phone because for some reason our Skype just doesn't seem to agree with yours. I'm sorry about that. We're going to call you right now, okay? Because I want to hear what you have to say about this. So we're going to call you right now in a matter of seconds here. There's something about the Skype situation over there in, where is he? Huntington Beach, I do believe, the Huntington Beach bad boys. So good to hear Hackelman's assessment. Curious to hear Tito right off the bat say that he doesn't necessarily feel like he's getting the respect that he deserves after the fact, because that does seem to be the story. Everyone talking necessarily about, not necessarily about Tito, but zeroing in on Chuck. And I do believe we have Tito back. Tito, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Sorry about that again. So do you not feel, in short, do you not feel like you're getting the respect that you deserve on this Monday after that win?
No, just because, Chuck said so much how he's going to knock me out, all kinds of fans saying, oh, Chuck's going to knock you out again, what do you got to prove? And I proved that I'm a vicious fighter. I proved that I haven't really lost it. People say, well, you lost to Chuck twice when you both guys were in your prime. I wasn't in my prime. I was only in the game for, 4 years? I was still learning. I'm still learning. I was going through my back problems before my back surgery. I mean, there was so many things that I was dealing with. Now when I'm healthy, now when I'm on point, and Chuck said he wanted to fight me. He's the one who called me out. He's the one who agreed to fight me. He's the one who kept talking trash, saying that I'm a tune-up fight. Building everything the way he wanted to do, and all of a sudden when I smash him an easy way I did, people say, oh, that wasn't Chuck Liddell that it used to be. Well, why would you say so much of things that how you're going to smash me how in a tune-up fight, and everybody else followed that same lead that he did, and then when I do it, they bash me for it. But it comes to show that there's so many Chuck Liddell fans out there, and I'm sorry to all the Chuck Liddell fans that I ruined your night.
You've been in the cage with him twice before. You've obviously known him for a long time. You've even trained with him back in the day. When you were in the cage with him on Saturday and feeling him out early on, did that seem like the old Chuck to you, or did it seem like a slower, older Chuck?
When I looked across, it looked exactly like the same Chuck to me. Of course, when the competition came about, first couple punches were thrown. I mean, I'm sparring with younger guys now. I'm sparring with guys who are fast. So he did look a little slower. But at the same time, it goes to my training partners. All the training partners that I had, Moses Mireta, Herdine, Jay Silva, all these guys that are a little bit faster and younger, that's what I was prepared for. Chuck says, in the videos that he had of him hitting mitts that, oh, that's not how he's doing. That's not how he really is. And I thought he was sandbagging. But after a few combinations that he did throw, it seemed like when he got warmed up a little bit, though, probably about 2.5 minute mark, it seemed like he was a little bit faster, but it's just I was way faster than him. My punches were way faster than his. I felt great. He touched me with one punch, and it was off my forearms, and there was nothing on it. I mean, like I say, I'm sparring with young guys now. I'm sparring with guys who are at the A of their game, and I'm competing against them. I think there's respect that should be shown a little bit on my side because I put in the hard work. After having 8 surgeries, 4 neck surgeries, back surgery, 3 knee surgeries, and I'm still able to dismantle Chuck like that, and yes, he took his time off, but he's the one who called me out. That's what I don't understand is people bag on me, and I'm not the one that called him out. I said, you shouldn't do this. In the beginning when it first started, I said, no, dude, you shouldn't do this. He's like, oh, what, you afraid? So once again, here we go again, where Tito's afraid to fight Chuck Liddell. No, it never was ever like that. I always just want to make sure that we made a big piece of the pie, and in this fight, we did.
After everything you guys have been through, and we're looking at some of the highlights right now, after everything you guys have been through, after all the back and forth, the drama dating back to the UFC days and everything that entailed, when you finally finished him, when you knocked him out, what did that feel like?
Vicious. I don't know. I just felt like an animal, man. I just everything worked out perfect. Like I said, all the sparring, all the mitt work, all the rounds we did, all the wrestling I did, all the road work I did. 18 weeks, I sacrificed my body like no other. I was excited. I hit him with the punches. He fell, and I want to make sure that he stayed down. And I was caught in the moment, of course, doing my celebration as I always do after every one of my fights. But he said a lot of bad things about me, saying I'm not a good person. And I take that very personal because I am a good person, and I'm really good to my friends, good to my family, and good to my fans.
What about the commission getting in the way of your celebration there? Were you annoyed by that? Bumping you?
They're not Tito Ortiz fans?
I know. I feel like they've never seen you.
Me though, man. They weren't stopping me. No way. No one will stop me that night. I'm like I say, man, I had a great night. God, man, everything just fell into place. It's from the very, very beginning of cutting weight, making the weight was super easy. On Monday, I was 222. On Tuesday, I was 218. On Wednesday, I was 215. On Thanksgiving, I was 213. And then Friday, when I woke up, I was 209. So, wow. I mean, the weight was just perfect. You know, on Thanksgiving, I actually went on my way, and I reached out to my publicist to see what I could do on Thanksgiving to get back, you know. So I went and fed homeless for about 4.5 hours at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood because I was already in Los Angeles at my hotel. So I did that and fed people Thanksgiving since I couldn't have a Thanksgiving dinner. And that was the first Thanksgiving in 21 years that I wasn't able to eat.
Wow. You never fought around Thanksgiving? I mean, I guess you fought at the end of the year, but not that weekend. So it was tough timing, I can understand. But I feel like the commission maybe signaled the fact that they were like newbies or something, because everyone knows that you're doing that. I think that they thought that you were going to attack him, and that's why they were getting all worried. They didn't know how the Tito Ortiz celebration usually plays out, and that's why they were getting all up in your grill. Someone needed to educate them that that's what you do after your fights.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think they forgot when I choked Chael Sonnen that I did it too, because they tried to stop me then.
Ah, okay.
They tried to stop me now, but it wasn't happening. I was too fast, too strong.
Is there any part of you in hindsight? I know this is a personal thing, and I know you kind of buried the hatchet as well. But is there any part of you that feels bad for Chuck?
Not bad. You know, I feel for him because, you know, yeah, at the end of the day, as much as he said he wasn't my friend, I still see him as one of my boys, man. I still have that feeling. And like I said in the beginning, I told him he shouldn't do the fight, but he just demanded it. And you can't tell a man what to do. I mean, people never tell me what to do, and I don't listen. I always I do what I want to do. And he had to find a first fist of what he shouldn't be in the for, and that was fighting me. I mean, I don't feel sorry because he did what he wanted to do. You know, he's a warrior, man. He's a true champion, and I respect him. I've always respected him.
Why do you still consider him one of your boys, considering all that's been said, especially from him about you?
That's just who I am, man. You know, they say keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. It is what it is.
And so, okay, after the fact, he would not say that he is done. He said he's going to think about it and whatnot. We just had John Hackleman on who says he's going to urge him to retire. Do you feel like that's the end? Do you feel like he should retire?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he fought a Tito Ortiz that's vicious, man. I'm telling you, my camp was amazing. I had no injuries. I was like, I could beat anybody that night. That night, I could destroy anybody. I was just on point. It was my night. Everything in this world happens for a reason. If Chuck Liddell wants to continue to fight, give him some warm-up fights. Give him someone who actually can can be a tune-up fight. I was not a tune-up fight. If he goes back to his normal camp, I think he'd do well. You can't go to a new camp and then all of a sudden you're gonna compete at the same level you always have with the camp you always been with. And him being with John Hackleman was a blessing. John Hackleman is an amazing coach, and I didn't understand why he wasn't with John Hackleman. But Chuck Liddell is a man of himself. He's a grown man. He's a great father, and he's going to make his decisions.
What about you? Was that your last fight?
Yep.
100%?
Man, 100%. There's no reason to come back and fight anybody else. I mean, who is there? There's no one else out there. You know, I fought the who's who. I've done what I needed to do. Now let's go on to something a little bit better. Let's focus my mind strictly on a business of helping these fighters and start a new promotion. Actually, we started a new promotion with Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotion. So let's just keep it going. I meet with Oscar and Eric Gomez on Friday, I believe, and we're going to sit down, put the numbers together, and they said it made sense. They said it was amazing. I believe almost a sold-out house for the seats they had open, and they were happy. They were really, really happy.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about that in a second, but you say you felt better than ever. You felt vicious. You were on point. Amazing training camp. The weight cut was phenomenal, and you got a win over your rival, and you made a lot of money, as you said. Why? Like, you don't think in a year you'll be tempted? Oh, here's one more fight. There's always another guy out there. Can you say definitively that was the end?
Yes, I can say definitively that was the end. I want to enjoy life, man. I want to do business. I want to focus on what's going to be my next chapter of my life, and promotion is where it's at. I think there's a lot of fighters out there I could take advantage of, and I want to give them an opportunity to become brands. I want to give them an opportunity to become partners of their fight business, that they put their lives on the line when they step into a cage.
Okay, now the future of Golden Boy MMA, as it was called, can you also say definitively that was not a one-off? They are here to stay?
I believe we are here to stay. Yes, sirree.
And when you say we, what's your part in all of this?
Well, we're going to have to see when I sit down with them on Friday. You know, I've worked with UFC for such a long time, of 16 years. I know the ins and outs and everything. I just never got an opportunity to use my skills on that side of it. It's time to really get educated on it, be a hard worker, and dedicate myself to it 100%. Chuck Liddell, Dana White, getting to become president overnight of UFC. It took him a lot of hard work and dedication, time away from his family, and to learn how to do it the right way. And he's a master at it, man. Dana White is the best. UFC is the best. I don't want to compete against UFC. You know, Coca-Cola, there's a Pepsi. AT&T, there's T-Mobile. I mean, there's always a competition with each other. Ford, you got Chevy. I mean, UFC, you're going to have Golden Boy MMA.
And so would you like to be the Dana White, if you will, the promoter? Do you want to have a financial stake? Like, what role do you think is best for you?
I think what's best for me is helping them make decisions on bringing in great fighters, giving those fighters the opportunity to become great stars, to become the next characters, to become the next Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell's, Rampages, Quentin Rampage Jackson. You know, I think it's just going out and finding those guys. Guys like Conor McGregor. There's many other people out there, but they don't get an opportunity to do it, and I want to give that opportunity to them.
One of the big talking points heading into this this debut card for Golden Boy, was that, you know, the fighters would make more. The purses that I know that they aren't always, you know, they are always accurate and you know, telling the true story. But there was a big discrepancy over what you guys made and what the rest of the card made. So how is this any different than, say, a UFC card where there's a big discrepancy between the main eventers and the undercard guys?
Well, I mean, as you can see, the level of fighters that were in there. I mean, we were banking on me and Chuck. That was plain and simple. We got some young fighters that we need to build. We need to build brands, and that's what's really important. Given this opportunity and seeing how the card did in general, now we'll be able to do a little bit better for the next card and start building guys. Don't get me wrong, we're not going to do another pay-per-view. That's not in our idea. That's not what will be the next stop. Now it starts to build the brand itself and to make fighters brands themselves. And that's the next step, is building guys. So
you'd like to have like some sort of TV deal, right, where more people can watch?
Exactly. And you know, go around the world finding the best fighters, you know, and I think that's really important. And be able to let those guys have free will, have their own sponsorships, say what they want to say, and never really censorize them. I think that's really important.
Do you have any idea, any ballpark number as to what this did on pay-per-view?
Not yet. I've heard so far in the 200s.
Okay.
So if it's over that, I'm very, 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 very happy. Of course, pay-per-view is super tough with all the people who pirate pay-per-views and everything. We had to do our homework on Sunday, yesterday, of trying to block a lot of things, and we're still doing it today. And you kind of realize of how hard UFC truly works to make that happen. It's difficult to make sure the guys don't pirate the things, and UFC does a great job of it, and we're trying to do the same thing ourselves.
Oscar De La Hoya, as you know, is a legend and does a fine job in boxing, but I was critical of him in the build-up to this fight. It didn't feel like he had his heart into it. He was mispronouncing Chuck's name all the time. He didn't know anything about the press conference. I thought you and Chuck did a way better job than him at selling this. Do you think that he wants to be a part of this, or if Golden Boy MMA remains a thing, that he should maybe just focus on boxing and someone like you focus on the MMA?
There's your answer. Got you. And I think, to defend to defend Oscar, he is a boxing promoter.
Yeah.
He got thrown into something that he thought it would be fun to do. This is an experience for him that, let's give these guys an opportunity to fight. Let's give it to the fans. And he did no more than that. And when I got an opportunity to sit down and talk with him, he's like, man, this MMA deal is a totally different monster. I go, but we can do well at it. We just got to work hard and make the right things happen for these fighters' futures. He goes, Tito, I was a fighter, and I became a promoter, and I was able to get back to boxing. I know you're a fighter in mixed martial arts. You want to be a promoter? We can do it together, and let's make this stuff happen for the MMA fighters. So that'll be the steps.
Okay. Ideally, how many shows would you like to do next year?
At least 8 to 10 shows.
Okay.
During the year. Maybe even 12. Maybe we do one a month and just go around the United States or the world and have a small show in all of them. And, like I say, I ain't looking to compete with UFC. I don't want to compete with UFC. UFC is an animal. They're their own machine. There's no one going to be better than them. But I just want to give the fighters an opportunity to compete if they can't compete in UFC.
Congrats, Tito. Thanks for doing this. Great job on Saturday. And hopefully, the beef is over. You guys can move on, maybe be friends, as you said on Saturday, and maybe even work together. I don't think anyone wants to see Chuck fight again, and maybe there's a home for him at Golden Boy. What do you think?
Yes, that is a possibility. Of course, going out recruiting fighters, we can get Chuck doing that. But we just got to work hard, because I know he was with UFC for a while and as an ambassador, but he didn't really work that much. So if you're going to work with me, you're going to work hard, because that's the only way I do things, man. I work as hard as I possibly can.
Good luck to you, Tito. Thank you very much. Congrats again.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, there he is, Tito Ortiz, coming off his victory over Chuck Liddell on Saturday night at the Forum, the Fabulous Forum in Inglewood, California. He finally gets his win over Tito Ortiz over Chuck Liddell. Last time they fought was 2006. He says that's it for him. He says this is the beginning of Golden Boy MMA. We'll see if those are true. I have my doubts about the first one, but we'll see.